Hi, this is Tyler Higgins here for week 4 of oceanography, and this week we got an assignment that is pretty much you get a random point in the ocean and you're gonna describe the ocean sediment and that you're expecting to see there. So let's get a ground basis of where we're at. So these are the coordinates from the generator, and it's gonna be a little off the coast of Somalia. You can see about 160-ish miles here, around 700 from the nearest ridge, which will be important later on. And then let's start by describing what the different sediment types are. So there's lots, like you can get pretty nitty-gritty into the different sediment types, but let's start with a few more basic general ideas. Let's start with the ice rafted, which is going to be based on the movement of like glaciers and ice. And then we got carbonate, which is going to be based on sediment dropped by dead organisms from the surface. Then siliceous, which is going to be basically just rocks, and there's a small amount done by organisms. And then we got red clay, which is almost entirely made up of dust from all over the place and is in places that are pretty dead. So we got some more info on ice rafting here. As you can see, this is going to be the ice picking up debris from the floor, and it's going to chunk off and go bring it into the ocean on little waves and drop it back off. We got carbonate, which is one of the more interesting sedimentation types, because when there's organisms up top here, right, they're gonna be dying, and then their shells are gonna be floating down here past the lysocline, and then right in here is about where their shells will start actually dissolving, because the lower you go in the ocean, it's going to be more acidic, and by the time they get down to the CCD, it's going to be almost entirely dissolved. So it's going to be rare occurrence to see any, if possible, down here. But in higher elevations like this, you're going to be able to see a lot more carbonate sedimentation. Let's go over siliceous and red clay. The siliceous sediments, like I said before, are going to be almost all rocks and minerals on the ocean floor, but there are some diatoms on the surface that are going to pick up some, and then they're going to die, and it's going to sink down to the bottom. And then red clay is going to be pretty much a lack of life, or not lack of life, it's going to be almost empty in the ocean. It's going to be almost all dust particles coming from land over here, and it's going to get blown all over into the ocean, and it's going to sink down and become a sediment. Let's not forget about terrigenous sedimentation, which is pretty much just going to be the runoffs from land. Like you can see, all the terrigenous in this model is going to be just right next to land. Alright? Just showing that all of it's going to be just runoff. So in this point, we're expecting to see lots of carbonate and terrigenous sedimentation. Start with carbonate, because we got the Mid-Indian Ridge right here, which is going to be extra elevation get over the CCD so that the carbonate's not going to be dissolving. And then the terrigenous, just simply because it's so close to the coast, this stuff's just going to get pulled right into the ocean and deposited. And then, as you can see here, our point's around here, and it's going to be somewhere around 40 to 80 million years old. And over that many years, there's going to be lots of clays and carbonate. There's going to be all sorts of sediments there. That's going to be pretty much it. I look forward to seeing you guys next week.